Hey guys, what's up? It's that time of the month where we go over what I read for the past month. So this is going to be what I read in March, since obviously it's the 1st of April. And we read 6 books this month, which is, pretty average for me. That's usually about what I do. We had some really, really great reads, and we also had some not so great reads. So I will let you guys know what I read this month, obviously. We started on a very, very high note, and this book literally took me half of February to read, and I finished it at the beginning of March, and that is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I have a whole detailed reading vlog for this, a spoiler-free reading vlog for this, if you guys want to go check that out. I'll link it in the description. But I, of course, give this book 5 stars. I loved this book. This is about Bryce Quinlan, and she is half fae, half human. Not very powerful, and she has a huge incident in which a person that she loves, something bad happens to them, and it just causes this whole array of events to arise, and she has to basically play detective on what's going on, what's happening, why this happened to her friend, all of that. And she meets Hunt Athalar along the way, who is an angel. He basically works for the main angel. I love their romance. It wasn't super fast to get into, but it was definitely worth it by the end, and I'm really, really excited on how the second book's going to turn out, because I have heard that the second book ends on a crazy cliffhanger, and pretty sure the third book comes out next year, so I'm really, really excited to check that out. It's definitely a lengthy one, so, wait until you have some time to read it. But I definitely love Sarah J. Maas's writing. She's my #1 favorite author, and I don't know, she continues to amaze me. I think I've rated every single read from her 5 stars, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with it. It takes a little bit to get into, but once you get into it, I promise it is well worth it. So that is Crescent City. And then we read Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is the second book in the Things We Never Got Over series. I read Things We Never Got Over last year when I started my reading journey. And this follows Nash and, what is her name, Lena. And they're a little small town romance. Nash is the brother of Knox, who the first book is about. And this just talks about the aftermath of what happened at the end of the first book, and how Nash is kind of dealing with it, having kind of anxiety issues, things of that nature. And Lena has different reasons for being into town. They kind of form a romance, but they're not sure if they should really be together, and you get to see all of the other small town characters that are in that. And that's what I really love about these books that Lucy Score writes, is that they are just the greatest small town vibe, and I'm a sucker for that. I would say I did like the first book a little tiny bit better than this one. I rated this one 4.25, but I am absolutely super, 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 super excited to read the third book. It comes out later this year, and that is about Lucien and Sloane, and I think that's going to be a different type of vibe from these past 2. And plus the cover is just super cute. I love it. I really liked it. It was a good palate cleanser after reading a huge fantasy book. Then I read You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glassglow. I give this book a 4.5 stars. It was a short read. It was important, I felt like, for me to pick up. I feel like it's important for everybody to pick up. It kind of brings some awareness to drug abuse, addictions, things of that nature. It's about Emery, who is the sister of Joey, and Joey is an addict, and it talks about how, you know, not only Joey is struggling with his addiction, but also his whole family is struggling, and I thought it was pretty good. Not the best, obviously, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, I gave it a 4.5. So yeah, I really think you should pick this up. It's the same girl that wrote Girl in Pieces, which I've never read that, but I know a lot of people have. And it just talks about how Emery is going through life, kind of being just the good child and doing everything her parents want her to do, and everybody oversees her because of that. And so yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really good. Definitely pick it up if you want to try it out. And then since I saw that the show was coming out, I read Daisy Jones and the Six. And I still haven't watched the show. Don't know if I'm going to get to it, but I gave this book a 4 stars. And honestly, I think the reason that I gave that book such a high rating was just because it's got so much hype around it. I honestly maybe would give it a 3.85 if I'm looking back on it, just because I didn't enjoy the full dialogue. I thought it was a little bit boring at times. I read Carrie Soda's Back by her, which is all dialogue as well, and I gave that one a 5 stars. I really, really loved that one. I loved the main character in that one. But like, these characters just kind of fell flat for me. I didn't feel like a lot was going on. I don't know. And it's about a band in the 60s, just kind of how they go through different things throughout their career. And I don't know, it just wasn't for me, but I know that a lot of people love this book, so I still would recommend it if anybody wanted to try it out. That's Daisy Jones and the Six. And then we read our lowest rated book of the year, which is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. And this was really disappointing for me because I have read her other duology, or duet, I guess is how you would say it. And I thought that this cover was super cute. It kind of matches the other covers that she's been going for. But I gave this a 2.5, and I'm usually not the person to rate books super, super low, but this just was painful to get through. It's such a short book, but it took me so long to just finish it. And honestly, if I wouldn't have read this next book, which I'll talk about in a little bit, I would have been in such a huge slump. But this is about Hallie and Julian Voss, and they are both from a small town. They're from, what's it called? It's somewhere that there's a lot of like wine. It's wine country, whichever, I can't remember where that takes place. Anyways, Hallie's trying to save a wine tasting place that has been going under since it's so old, and there's a new wine shop just across the way. She's trying to save this place because her and her grandma had so many great times there, and her grandma passed away. And she struggles with being organized and being able to keep a schedule. And Julian is the exact opposite. He has to be on a schedule, has to have everything perfectly timed out due to his past, and he's had some anxiety, and that's why he kind of does that. And they're totally not right for each other, but obviously we all know what happens with that. She's had a crush on him since high school. He doesn't remember her from high school. I just didn't really get the point of this book. Usually a romance has like a little more to it, and I just feel like this didn't have anything to it. I'm still going to try out the second one in the duet because I've heard it's better. It hasn't came out yet, but I've heard of a couple people that have gotten the ARCs that said it was really good. So I will give her another shot, but this book wouldn't recommend, honestly. And then we finished out the month super strong. We started the month super strong, and we finished it out super strong. And we finished it out with Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, and this is the second book in the Magnolia and Parks series, but this doesn't follow Magnolia and BJ. It follows Daisy and Christian. And I honestly, unpopular opinion, like Daisy a lot more than Magnolia. I found her way less annoying than Magnolia. I gave Magnolia Parks 4.85. I gave this one a 5 stars, which might not be super common. I'm not very sure. But this talks about Daisy and her brother Julian. There's 3 POVs in this book: Daisy, her brother Julian, and Christian. And Christian has been in love with Magnolia forever, but she obviously is, you know, set on BJ. So he's been hooking up with this girl named Daisy, and he's starting to actually have feelings for her, and she's always had feelings for him. And while this is going on, she's also battling with her life of having to be looked over constantly because she is part of a, like, gang-related family. Her brother runs a gang. He's the head leader. And all of his guys live with her, protect her, love her. And it just kind of talks about her and Christian going from like friends with benefits to something more. And I absolutely love Christian. I don't really get crazy over a lot of book boyfriends, but he has to be one of my favorite book boyfriends of all time. I don't know why. I just feel like he was just such a genuine good guy. And I absolutely love this book. I ate it up. I would highly recommend this series. I love this. I can't wait for the second Daisy Hates book. Obviously, I have to read the third Magnolia Parks first. But I just loved it. The cover's crazy. And that's how I ended my month. So I was really happy about that. And I highly, highly recommend this series. So that is all the books I have for you this month. And I will have another book video coming up shortly for you guys. I have a couple ideas. If you guys want to see more book content past YouTube, I do have a bookstagram. It's called Allison Turns the Page. I'll put the @ down below if you guys want to check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Comment down some books that I can add to my TBR, and I will see you guys later. Bye!